Hey everybody! So, today is going to be a little different. This video is something that I'm actually doing for my newsletter. So, during my newsletters, I have a variety of information that I will include, and some of it is about like interesting topics, or I do my of the months that it'll be a oracle card or a tarot card with an explanation. It'll be an essential oil that could be helpful for the month, or a crystal. It could be a little bit of everything. But this video is for the interesting topic in particular, because this interesting topic for November is about what the crazy energy is lately, because there's so much of it. And I decided that it was going to be easier for me to do like a video that is referenced in my newsletter that people can then just watch and listen to, because there's just so much that could be talked about. So, the interesting topic, what is all this energy that is going on that is contributing to why everything feels so turbulent, not just in our personal lives, but at the world, like on a grander scale, that it just seems like so many things are going on. Everybody's got their shit that they're dealing with and trying to process through and trying to navigate. And there's a lot of people who are feeling emotionally and mentally overwhelmed by everything. And it's like, why? What exactly is this? So this has been really months and months and months coming, because the energy of at the very least, the second half of 2023 has been about truths being revealed and us no longer being able to ignore them. And this is going to be a really sort of intense video, just because I feel Spirit is so excited that all of this is going on. And I feel excited too, because even amongst all of the chaos, there is so much rightness and so much synchronicity that is happening because of all of this. It's because we are not meant to be avoiding or ignoring or distracting ourselves from the truth of things. And for a long time, the whole planet is awakening. The whole planet, every single person on the planet is becoming more aware of the sorts of things that go on behind the scenes, the sorts of things that speak to the grandiose purpose behind why we're even here. And there's a lot of people who really, would say you're not ready for being pushed into this space, but you're being pushed into it whether you feel like you're prepared for it or not. And so it's overwhelming, because you find yourself questioning reality. You find yourself questioning what you have basically lived your life believing, and now all of that is being challenged. And that is a very heavy feeling to think about, because you feel like you're just like, I don't know what to do anymore. Nothing is real. Nothing is what I believed it to be. Everything is different. But you see, especially like now, where it shifted from summertime and now it's getting into fall, and even the colder weather is starting to set in, where it's starting to feel a little more like winter. What exactly is happening during this time? So let's start with the zodiac signs. So we just left out of Libra season. Libra is an air sign. And air signs have to do with mentality. They have to do with the way we think, the way we perceive things. And everything is challenged. So now we're into Scorpio season. Scorpio is a water sign. And water has to do with emotions. It has to do with the way in which we process things. And if you're looking at the full spectrum of all of that, it can show up in a variety of ways. It can show up in anxiety, or it can show up in overreactiveness. There's so many different things, but all of this is meant to be shining a light on the things that we need to do within our personal work, our shadow work, our inner child work, all of the things that require us to decide how we are going to look at things differently and what choices we're willing to make changes in how we've done things so far. Because you can't apply old keys to new locks, right? So if up to this point you've done things a certain way, you've looked at things a certain way, and you're not happy with what you're seeing, with what you're doing, then it is time to find a new key. And especially with eclipse season also, what exactly is an eclipse? How does that apply to the spiritual aspect of things, and why everything feels so hectic? Because the eclipse is casting a shadow of distraction over the truth. And then this past full moon at the end of October was a supermoon. What exactly is a supermoon? A supermoon is when the moon orbits as the closest it can possibly come to Earth, because it doesn't orbit Earth in a perfect circle at the same distance all the time. It's sort of oblong, and there are points where it's further away and it looks smaller in the sky. And then there are points where it's closer and it looks really big. And especially with the supermoon, and then you start thinking about that it is Scorpio season, being water and emotions. The moon impacts water. Our bodies are 70 whatever percent water, like Earth is 70-ish whatever percent water. There is no reason to believe that the moon does not impact us on a physiological level. So, thinking about all of that, it's no wonder that full moons can make people kind of like a little extra, and the super moons, and then the eclipses on top of that, because the eclipses are meant to be us looking at the ways in which we allow ourselves to become distracted, of what ways that we have used distraction as coping mechanisms, ways to keep us from having to face the difficult stuff that nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to deal with within their personal lives or on a larger scale. There are so many things happening right now that it's like, as crazy as it all feels and as hectic as it all is and how overwhelming it can be, believe me, I get it. But it's going to be okay. And it's taking it one step at a time. It's in those moments trying to remain or maintain an awareness that in that moment you get to choose. Am I going to react or perceive the situation in the same way I always have, hoping to get a different result? Or am I willing to change how I'm looking at this? Am I willing to change how I'm doing this? Am I willing to choose differently in order to be curious about what result could this choice rear? And us deciding and choosing to take back our power in being able to choose something different, that's what's going to make these major shifts. And the universe, like I said, there's so many synchronicities and so much supportive energy, even though at the surface it seems chaotic. So much of this is about us being supported by the universe in our growth and the things that we are looking to improve in our reality. The other thing too, that in fall, the veil starts to thin. And the veil has been so thin. I have felt like manifesting is like this. That I would be at work and I'd be like thinking about a particular client, and I was like, oh, I haven't really seen them lately. And then all of a sudden I see them pop up saying that they entered the gym. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's I see you. And, doing energy work with different people that I've been doing energy work with lately, and and their loved ones are coming in and being supportive to the energy work that they're doing. And, I'm working on a friend, and during his bar session, his grandmother sort of like came in and was like, "Hey, I'm here." And I was like, "Oh, okay. That's cool. I'm glad you're here." And just and as time went on, I didn't like focus on her too much. I stayed focused on the energy and how it was flowing within his session. And then I felt her sort of step a little bit closer, and I was like, "Did you have a message, or are you just here supporting him?" And she's like, "No, I'm just here supporting him." I was like, "Okay, cool. Sounds good." And then that was really the extent of it. But people, you are going to be feeling your loved ones so strongly right now and lately that I would not be surprised if you sort of have these like weird paranormal-ish sort of instances where it's like, that was really weird. I wonder what that was. That it's all totally normal, because that's what's meant to be happening right now. Our dimensions are blending, and because they are supporting us in all of the things that we're doing, and it's not just our loved ones, it's the beings that are beyond them, the ones that have never incarnated, the angels, and our guides or ascended masters who had incarnated, and just everybody there. We have so much support happening for us right now, especially in this, because everybody is sort of being forced into this ego death, especially the people who had not chosen to step onto their spiritual paths prior to the last couple of years, and they're starting to really feel the pressure of being pushed into this situation. So they may be having a hard time, and you may be feeling this as well. The anxiety, the depression, you may feel like you're sicker more often, but try to maintain an understanding that it's not because you're just getting sick and there's nothing you can do about it. This is an indication that you have stagnant energy that is trapped within your physical field, and it's needing to be released in a particular way. But don't disempower yourself by saying, I'm just getting sick all the time now, and there's nothing I can do about it, and the doctors are just going to feed me pills. Allow yourself a little bit of curiosity to say, what if this is something as simple as me changing my perspective about how I'm seeing all of this? Because I can guarantee you, if you allow yourself to be curious about that and really let yourself sort of go down that rabbit hole, you are not going to be disappointed. You are going to feel so empowered by the end of it, because our energy field, we have full influence over it. So, all of these crazy energies are there. There's a rightness in it. It's not good and bad, and it's not all of these terrible things that even like in the world at large. So one thing I had realized, that the awful fires that happened in Hawaii, and it was like, as soon as I heard, I was like, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to all these people. My heart goes out to the earth. But as soon as I started thinking about the earth, I was like, Mother Earth is cleansing. Fire is cleansing. Where does the phoenix come from? It dies in ash. It dies in fire and rises from the ashes. Just like in tarot, the Tower card, things must be uncreated in order for things to be rebuilt with a stronger, sturdier, more supportive foundation. That's what's happening right now. out there in the world, in your personal lives, all of the things that feel like they're falling apart for a reason. They're falling apart so we can make different choices in building it better, in creating the reality that we truly want to see in all of this. Like, I get so excited just because it's like I'm one of those weird people. I have become one of these weird people that it's like, oh yeah, all these trials and tribulations, all these, really upsetting and concerning things will happen in your personal life. And I'm just like, there's a part of me that really embraces the challenge and really embraces it, because the change is always good. There's always a silver lining to be taken out of something, and it's about our commitment, our choice to stay committed to continuing to see where that is. In every bad situation is a reason to be grateful, is a positive lesson that is helping us as a planet, as a dimension, to raise our vibration. And that's what the Grand Awakening is the age of Aquarius being, everybody's being forced into awakening. Everybody's vibration is being raised, whether they've prepared for it or not, or whether they have decided that they are ready for it. The whole planet is doing this because it is necessary for us. This is the next step in our evolution, is our spiritual, getting back to these spiritual roots that empower us in ways that the matrix of reality has disempowered us to believe in the things that just aren't possible. It's like, no, all things are possible. It's about your perception. It's about how willing you are to believe that all these crazy things are possible simply out of believing that they're possible. Gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. So if watching this, it being the interesting topic for my newsletter for November, be reassured that amongst the chaos, all is well. There is purpose behind all of this. And then there are some souls too, because this is another thing that I've noticed, is some souls who are not prepared for the energetic requirements that it's going to be for the planet to continue to ascend. They're choosing to leave. They're choosing to cross back over so that they can better prepare and they can sort of reset to get ready to come back. And this can be a hard thing, because when it just seems like, the world is surrounded by death, death is not an end. Death is a continuation. What we consider death is a transition back to the true vibration of our souls. And the other side is not this scary place where we have to be concerned about judgment or anything like that. It's spirit and the universe and all of the higher dimensional beings that help support us through this learning ground that we call Earth in this dimension. They're our team that are supporting us from the other side. We chose to have all the experiences that we've chosen. We've chosen to forget about where we come from from the other side and what the true nature of the essence of our being is, that we can relearn it and we can work through the lessons that we're needing to work through to really integrate at a soul level these lessons so that we carry them from lifetime to lifetime. When we come here, We have free will. We can choose. We have our plan within our soul within our soul that we're aware of on an unconscious level. And it's in us being in this learning space, in this reality, in these lifetimes, it's about us gaining that awareness back so that we can really achieve the lessons that we're looking to achieve. And sometimes we don't follow the plan because, our angels and our guides and our loved ones, our ancestors on the other side, they are encouraging us in a variety of different ways. It's like, hey, this was your plan. This was what you were coming to this lifetime to learn. And we can get distracted. And sometimes we just decide, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I cannot do this reality, this lifetime. I need a break and I need to start over. And so we will transition back to spirit, and we sort of go through like a debriefing. We have to work with our team. We sort of go through what I would call counseling with these higher beings, and they help us to reflect and evaluate what we accomplished in our lifetime before we're transitioning back, and how we feel we did, and if we're satisfied with it. And then after a break, then we go back to the drawing board, and our team helps us to figure out, okay, this didn't quite work out, but this is a lesson I still need to learn. How can we rework this so I can try to learn it in my next lifetime? And we choose, and all of this, there's purpose behind all of it. So in all the ways that you may be feeling discouraged, that you may be feeling overwhelmed, all of the ways that you feel disempowered in this lifetime, in this reality, in this space that you dwell in, let's take a step back and let us completely and permanently uncreate and destroy all Big Five embodiments that we have chosen and stored in our body as distractions to remain plugged into the matrix. And let's uncreate and destroy all that does not serve us and does not allow us to perceive truths that allow us the space to recreate the reality we desire. Everything that is times a godzillion, and anything that doesn't allow us to do so. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Deep breath. That was a good one. I feel so much expansion. That's awesome. I love it. So yes, the crazy, chaotic things that are going on right now, it's all good. Even if you can't quite understand how, just keep telling yourself it's all good. We got this. I got this. Things are going to work out, and they can work out better than what I hoped. And just keep telling yourself that. I also highly recommend that now, this is as good a time as any to get in some energy work. Bar sessions are going to be great for the mental ties, the mental blocks, the ways in which we cycle back over these repeating thoughts, and the ways that we get stuck in the monkey brain. Bars is going to be amazing for that. Bars also, because you're working from the mental aspect, it's going to help the physical aspect, because we store that dysregulation in our bodies too. Our bodies get the brunt of everything. Our body is going to be affected by everything mental, emotional, and otherwise that we endure as being incarnated as a human. Integrated energy therapy is going to be emotions, emotional blocks, emotional restrictions, and specifically with IET talks about how emotions directly impact the body. Super interesting, and I'd be more than happy to talk more about that, but IET is going to be great for emotional blockages and helping the body to heal. Body processes is an access consciousness technique that is going to be about mental and emotional stuff that being stored in the body and how it's impacting the body. Chakras are going to be a lot about the physical body with hints of mental and emotional aspects. So any one of those services, if you're looking for more information, please reach out to me and I will be more than happy to explain further. I also have more detailed descriptions in my newsletter within the services section. Otherwise, reach out to me with any and all questions you have. I am here to support you because from finite to infinite, let me help you to free yourself, because you are a powerful being and you drive the reality you perceive. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed.